Hello, it's Polish Paul VR, welcome back to the channel. Today we counting down 50 100% confirmed PlayStation VR2 games, no rumors, no wishes. Many of those you can actually wishlist on the PlayStation Store right now. I've kept this list clean, while in my pretty much daily news videos I'm talking about rumors, speculations and leaks as well. This list is only for confirmed titles. Big rumors like Resident Evil 9 are out, projects that went quiet and didn't give us update for a while like Prison Simulator VR are out as well. And I'm not counting huge updates that can transform games like Gran Turismo 7 Spec 3 for example. Blade and Sorcery developers said they do have PlayStation VR2 kits, but there is no official PS VR2 announcements, so it's not here as well. Assetto Corsa Evo team said they'd love to bring it to PlayStation VR2, but they hinted that they need some help from Sony. While Project Motor Racing talk about PS VR2, yet pre-orders don't list it, so those are off this list for now. There are roughly about 100 PlayStation VR2 games in development, and probably even more if we count the ones that we don't know of. So I picked my top 50 to showcase today. Quick disclaimer though, games can still get delayed or cancelled. If you want updates on maybes and the rest of the lineup, subscribe and hit like. And now let's dive in. At number 50, Wanderer 2. It's only so high because, well, the Wanderer 1 still needs some fixes and we don't have much footage apart from this little teaser that was placed at the end of one of the trailers. It's hinting at some pirate adventures here, which is pretty cool, and of course we can expect all of awesome Wanderer mechanics once they get fixed and work properly. Now, same goes for Madison VR. It's only so high on this list at number 49. Not because I'm not hyped, but because we don't know much about it. So basically, what's happened here is the developer said planned DLC grew so much, it's basically become Madison 2. With the fresh DLC still coming to Madison 1, so they're just making new experience. So you still can expect more psychological horror, those ritual puzzles and, you know, big jump scares. This game is very scary, but there is no footage yet. At number 47 we've got Into the Darkness, a physics-heavy sci-fi adventure about transhuman experiments gone wrong. Think of it like climbing, melee, also gunplay, and also, you know, different places you can climb, you can dive in water, go on catwalks. Your body and environment are your tools. Basically, very hands-on combat, heavily inspired by Boneworks. But at the moment on Steam it's released as early access to not the best reviews. Cinescape VR is an interactive escape room meets short film concept. You step into cinematic sets, solve story-driven puzzles and watch scenes unfold around you like you're starring in an anthology of bite-sized movie-style VR scenarios. Underworld Overseer is Dungeon VR godlike management game. Think about it like something heavily inspired by classics like Dungeon Keeper. So you're in those dungeons, commanding your minions, digging deeper, you know, making more caves and just making everything more awesome. Mobile Suit Gundam Silver Phantom. Anime mecha brought into VR with cockpit-scale action and big narrative beats. Expect piloting sequences, iconic weaponry, and a presentation aimed at putting you inside a war-torn space opera with towering mobile suits. Don't think it as a full-fledged game, more like an anime you can star in. Pulse VR. Liminal space exploration set in endless tiled pools and echoing corridors, slow atmospheric wandering, subtle storytelling, and is something here with me tension, less jump scares, more uncanny vibes and ambient dread. Trenches VR, World War I survival horror, crawl muddy lines, avoid patrols and manage fear as artillery and whispers close in. It's about sound cues, stealth and grim historical ambience rather than run and gun action. Deism is a VR god game sandbox, Shapeland, Spawn Life and nudge civilization forward or just fuck them up. Toy with weather, disasters and miracles while watching tiny followers warp ship, work and occasionally test your patience. Katana, red flowers. Stylized, story-driven swordplay focused on precise slashes and clean, cinematic duels. Expect tight arenas, parries and a revenge tale told through bold visuals and fast, satisfying katana combat. Sweet Surrender, a rogue-light shooter with chunky, cel-shaded style. Fight through many randomly generated rooms, loot quirky weapons and mods and learn enemy patterns as you push for just one more run on your PlayStation VR2. System Critical 3 is an indie sci-fi action with modular levels and retro flair. Game is prioritizing replayable runs over cinematic spectacle. Now, I like System Critical games. For me, the easiest description is kind of like maybe Mega Man, but if it was in virtual reality. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Omega Pilot Evolution. There was a game once on Steam called Omega Pilot. It was virtual reality racing game, but people didn't really like the maybe innovative controls. That's what the developers tried to put in it. But they said, just do a racing game. And that's what they did with Evolution. So you can expect proper futuristic racing in virtual reality, where you sit inside the cockpit and properly control your ship. And it's got different game modes, tons of customization and updates, multiplayer and leaderboards. Meteora. Arcade space action with a meteor storm twist. Dodge debris, sling around gravity wells, and blast targets in short score-chasing sessions that put quick reactions and spatial awareness front and center. Hotel Infinity, a room-scale puzzle adventure in impossible hallways, portals, lifts and looping architecture make a small space feel vast. Expect tactile puzzles, environmental tricks, and the sense you're lost in a classy liminal hotel. Vertigo Rouge, speed gliding down surreal tracks with sharp drops and split-second turns. It's simple, pure arcade VR. Chase high scores, thread needles and master flowy movement without overcomplicated systems. This is coming from developers of a game that I really like and I see it as a hidden gem, which is Crisis Brigade. Now, Timeless Heart VR. A dreamy narrative adventures about memory and love. Expect gentle explorations, environmental storytelling and light puzzles, trading jump scares for melancholic vibes and a score that cries the emotions. Memorium is a VR sci-fi action horror campaign. The Ichor infection has taken over the last ship of humanity. You are Dr. Otto Hudson, fighting to unravel the mystery behind the outbreak as your fragmented mind slips from reality. Iron Guard Salvation, sequel to already existing Iron Guard you can buy on PS Store, which is quite alright. Tower defense with RTS touches, place turrets, hop into vehicles and swap between top-down planning and first-person firefights. It's defense building that lets you jump down and get your hands dirty. Death Reliefs, Italian folk horror wrapped in first-person stealth and puzzle solving. The entity hunts you by sound, and you hunt for ritual tools and clues. Expect oppressive atmosphere over heavy combat. Evil Inside VR, a short, haunted house trek with reality glitches. Narrow corridors, ghostly events and simple puzzles keep the pace snappy. More about mood and sudden chills than complex mechanics. Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, a fresh spin on animatronic horror. Monitor systems, manage power, and survive night shifts with a new AI behaviors tied to the Mimic. VR heightens jump scares and the dread of glancing away at the wrong time. This was set to release this Halloween, but I don't think it's going to release this Halloween, so we might have to wait a bit longer. Detective VR are granted investigation simulations, examine scenes up close, dust for prints, study timelines, and link clues on a corkboard you can walk around. Don't much gunplay in that one, but more like a ha, I've got it. The very clever puzzle moments. The Bounce VR, surreal action adventure with platforming and light combat in dreamlike biomes. It leans on blood art direction, gravity bending traversal, and set pieces that feel like living a concept art. Sky Legends, an aeropostal epic. Golden Age aviation in virtual reality. Fly mail roads, battle weather and bandits, and upgrade your plane. It's part historical tribute, part pulp adventure along remote air trials. Shadowgate VR, Mines of Mythrock, from the game description. Armed with Sorcerer's Wand and Enchanted Shield, you will wield the elements themselves, conjuring fire, ice and raw energy to overcome the dangers that lurk in the darkness. But magic alone won't save you. The labyrinth corridors of Mythrock are filled with fiendish traps, devious puzzles, and monstrous guardians that will test your wits and reflexes alike. Use your cunning to decipher magical glyphs, disable hidden snares, and navigate the ruins' many dangers. Rush Apex Edition. Wingsuit racing built for virtual reality sense of speed, carve mountain canyons, slipstream friends, and threat checkpoints inches from rock faces. This is a arcade purity with sweaty palms. Now, I really like Rush on PS VR1, so I'm really looking forward to Apex Edition. Titan Isles, open world survival across colossal island, stalked by bigger than you wildlife. Gather, craft, climb, and decide when to hide versus when to fight. Exploration and verticality are the stars here. This is coming from the developers of Wildlands, a game that I really liked. Hard Bullet is a physics-driven sandbox carnage, slow-motion gunfights, brutal melee, and mod-friendly arenas where everything can become a weapon. It's about system colliding and you making glorious messes out of everything. Slender VR, the Arrival, the cult classic, rebuilt for the virtual reality. Flashlight cones, rustling trees, notes to collect, and that slow, inventable pressures as Slender invades your personal space in true don't look fashion. Boxing Underdog, this is a game that used to be called VRSO, bare knuckle fighting, but the developers decided that actual proper boxing experience is better fitting for this game, and you can expect very realistic damage to the face and fuki-uppy mechanics, but also very realistic dodging and fighting mechanics itself as well. Glassbreakers, Champions of Moss. This is Polyarch's real-time tactical battler in the Moss universe. Command champions on a tabletop arena from a diorama scale view, juggling cooldowns, flanks and objective controls in fast 1 vs 1 bouts. Virtual Hunter is a sim-leaning hunting experience, track prints, judge wind and use realistic optics across varied biomes. Ethical shots and patience pay off more than spraying bullets, which is something I like to do a lot. This game is out on PC, developed in early access, perfected over the years. It's pretty cool. Demio meets Dungeons and Dragons Battlemark. Demio's co-op tabletop dungeon crawling with an official Dungeons and Dragons twist. Party rolls, dice encounters and card abilities. Gather your crew at a virtual table and go adventuring. Headset to headset. Luminous, Arise, music puzzle in VR. Snap quads to the beat, watch the skyline dance and get lost in the rhythmic flow where audio and visuals lock you into that one more track groove. If you like Tetris Effect or Res Infinite, then you know what to expect. Richie's Plank experience for PlayStation VR2, the iconic VR game. ride an elevator, step onto a high-rise plank and test your nerves. Simple, unforgettable, and still the go-to Watch My Friend Freak Out demo, perfect for you to show off during your house gathering. V-Racer, hoverbike, arcade hoverbike racing with tight drift mechanics, learn apexes, master boosters and take one on time trials and combat modes, quick to pick up and hard to learn. I really like it, got in on PC, the leaning mechanics of controlling this game are pretty cool. Rough, Aeon of Ruin, retro styled first person shooter with modern virtual reality presence, non-linear maps, chunky weapons and nasty enemies. Old school key hunts feel fresh when you physically pick corners and line up ion sights blast. Off Lies and Rain, a story-driven mystery in a storm-lashed town. Explore, interrogate and piece together a conspiracy through grounded interactions and moody, rain-slicked locales that beg you to look under every trap. It's out already on other platforms with plenty of gameplay time and good reviews, so yeah, pretty cool. Made of Scare VR players will step into the shoes of Elizabeth Williams in the year 1898, trapped inside a decaying hotel where every creak could be their last. Armed only with a sound-based defense device, you rely on stealth, strategy and complete silence to survive a haunting supernatural mystery. Experience every tense moment entirely in virtual reality when Made of Scare arrives on PlayStation VR2 this November. RoboQuest, a colorful, kinetic, roguelite shooter. Sprint, slide and swap sci-fi weapons through procedural levels. Progression gives new builds without bloating runes. Keep it snappy in virtual reality. Hellsplit Arena, medieval melee built around physics and dismemberment. Parry, grapple and finish foes with grim efficiency. Movement and weapon handling reveal real techniques over flailing. Now listen, this game is in the development for PSVR 2, it's confirmed, but it keeps getting delayed. Latest word is 2026. Now, Zero Caliber, pretty much just around the corner. Tactical shooter with very awesome co-op experiences and great gunplay, realistic reloads and customizable rifles make it a sandbox gun enthusiast dream. And also it's a very popular title and I'm glad to finally see it in PSVR ecosystem. But also let's not forget Zero Caliber 2, which is a next step sequel aiming for bigger maps, smarter AI and refined gunplay, so you can expect deeper co-op, more attachments and a push towards objective-based replayable operations. Mentioned and confirmed on the roadmap that PSVR 2 version is coming, but it's probably still quite far away. Out of Sight, stealth puzzler where line of sight is everything, so you like kind of lurking down the shadows. You've got those big, let's call them enemies, chasing you, always somewhere lurking around. This is a very overlooked game. I call it a hidden gem. It's out on PC VR. I love PC VR version. That's why I put it so high on this list, because it's so good. Now, Postal VR. Chaotic, darkly comic shooter built to offend and entertain anyone, and in VR it's probably gonna offend even more people. So you still can expect everything like their over-the-top weapons, their sandbox mayhem, and unapologetically crude humor translated into up-close VR antics. Thief VR Legacy of Shadows, a stealth-first homage to immersive themes, soft step movement, light and sound as resources, and multipath objective. VR turns every corner, check and lockpick into a tense moment, and it's a big franchise that finally is coming to VR. Speaking about franchise, FlatOut for Total Insanity VR is coming to PlayStation VR 2, originally announced as FlatOut VR. Obviously the things changed, so now it's FlatOut 4. You've got new cars, new tracks, Flat2 VR Studios doing great things with this game. I'm hoping for release date soon, just like I'm hoping for release date for Aces of Thunder, which is standalone air combat simulation from the War Thunder developers. You get full cockpits, historical birds and player versus player dogfights, tuned for realism, checklists, energy fighting and nail-biting landing included. Plus there is a single story player, World War I planes, there's a lot going on apart from the release date. It's still slated for this year, so they're running out of time. It needs to come out soon. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. It's the one I cannot wait for. You've got whole world as your sandbox. You can fly anywhere. Such a detailed experience. The planes are just everything. It's just beautiful. Plus you've got this marketplace. Don't be surprised that some planes might cost like 100 quid. But you know, it's not. It's a proper simulation and it's coming to PS VR2. So I definitely cannot wait for it, and that concludes our list. Plenty of cool games coming soon, so stay tuned to the channel. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and like if you like the video as well. Make sure you subscribe, it helps me stay relevant, grow bigger and give you better videos. So I super appreciate your support. Let me know which games from this list you're going to pick up, and for now that's it. Bye 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 bye.